Let's get ready to rumble.
Yes, we're back. It's episode 160 of the Hibs Ramble. We are getting ever closer to the business end of the season, or we're probably in the business end of the season. I'm joined this morning by the wonderful, the gorgeous Mr. Shaun Corrigan, and for our audio-only listeners, if you've not seen him already, Motherwell's premier YouTube voice. It is the one, the only, the friend of the show, Mr. Gogsy. How are we doing this morning, chaps?
Pleasure to be back. That's why I'm here. It's a welcoming intro from yourselves. Thank you very much.
Shaun will tell you, you can get bored of it the more.
Definitely
Never
not.
bored
You
of
just
it.
need to start coming up with new introductions.
So I try my hardest every time, but then I just see you on my screen and I'm like, oh, that's a bit of me.
Is that you just looking at yourself again?
He's definitely only looking at
I
himself.
better still barking and my actual dog will go mental. Obviously, we are here to talk about all things Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon. Essentially, it's kind of fallen into a nice kind of jigsaw puzzle piece that obviously Motherwell and Celtic were involved in quite an interesting game on Wednesday night, as were Hibs and Rangers, and then Motherwell and Hibs will be playing again on Saturday, so that's obviously why we've got Gogsy on. There's only one place to start, though, from a Hibs perspective, and that is at Ibrox on Wednesday night. Shaun, David Gray goes with the same side that won away at Falkirk. Were you expecting any changes, or were you happy with the lineup?
No, I didn't expect any changes. I half expected it to be I fully expected it, should I say, to be the same starting 11. I don't know if it was just because of what's happened with Rangers since the split and their capitulation. I've never been more confident going to Ibrox, and I know that's easy to say now because obviously we ended up winning, but I just didn't see them turning up, especially when the news broke about Tav not even being in the squad, the fact that the stadium was half empty and things like that. I just felt like everything was pointing in the direction of a Hibs win, which was obviously the most important result on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean, and I posted about it on Twitter. It was the most important result on Wednesday night. Gordon, you'll have seen images or maybe even the highlights from the Hibs versus Rangers game at Ibrox. Just how disappointed were you about the turnout for James Tavernier's last game at Ibrox?
Couldn't care less. It actually sums that club up in a nutshell. The whole shit around the Tavernier situation.
See, to be honest, right, and that, like taking my Hibs specs off, the fact that because when you're going through to a game, like the team is released maybe like an hour before kickoff, an hour and a half before kickoff sometimes. I think that the majority of Rangers fans that weren't there weren't going to go anyway. Now, when you think back to, and I know it's different because obviously Lewis Stevenson and Paul Hanlon came through at Hibs through the academy and stuff, but James Tavernier, for all that he's done for that club, being the captain for 11 years, and I know that he comes in for a lot of stick from the Rangers fans and mostly everyone in the media. Didn't he pick up Tony Stokes very well on that day in May in 2016? I think that he probably deserves a bit more respect than that from the Rangers
I don't think there's any probably about it, to be fair, Liam. There's no probably about it. The way that it was handled was a bit of an absolute mess. I think both the Danny Roll and James Tavernier have tried to cover it up and kind of iron over it, when in reality probably both of them have messed up a wee bit. Don't get me wrong, it's pleasing to see, but at the same time, from a personal perspective, if I was Tavernier, you'd be livid. His whole family were meant to be there, and then that's obviously happened, and it was just ironic that obviously nobody's then turned up. I mean, got a long way to travel because they come from far and wide. The Rangers fans, they come from everywhere apart from Glasgow, and it was just, like I said, I didn't see anything else happening, and like Gogsy said, it just sums them up at the minute. Do you know what I mean? They've been so good since Danny Rowe came in, and then at crunch time they've lost every game.
Yeah, and listen, I don't know really what you can put it down to. Obviously, we'll talk about the game a little bit in a minute, but like just to touch on that again, Gogsy, like he is, and it gets thrown about a lot, and this is a cliche. It gets thrown about a lot, but he is probably a Rangers legend. Like he won the league once. He captained them to the UEFA Cup final. He's been brilliant for them for the last 11 years. And it's just, I'm trying to kind of get these words out without sounding like I'm completely attacking Rangers, but I'm going to do it anyway. Did you expect any different from the Rangers support?
Definitely not. I did read online that he's got the lowest average amount of trophies for time spent at the club, which is easy to say because he's been there 11 years, but it's been a period of time where no other Rangers club, so to speak, has been through that sort of thing. So, and it's been in a time where Celtic have been completely dominant.
I just think for what he's done for the club, and like he was there when they were in the, I don't know if he was there in League One, he was definitely there in the Championship.
Championship, yeah.
And
he was signed in the Championship.
He's stuck by them. And he's probably had the opportunities to move when he was a bit younger.
Should have.
And I just think that it's a bit of a disgrace because, I mean, yous wouldn't treat a player like that, I don't think. You know, you think the only one that's really come to my head is like Keith Lasley, who was at Motherwell for a long, long time.
Yeah, Stevie
obviously, we had Paul Hanlon and Lewis Stevenson. We played Motherwell in their last game, as Shaun so happily reminded me last week in one of the quizzes that he did.
Aye.
And it was a massive turnout for them that day, although I wasn't there. I just think it's really disappointing, and I think it also just sums that club up. Classless, no respect. But on the other hand, Shaun, isn't it pleasing knowing that the last goal that James Tavernier ever saw at Ibrox was by Martin Boyle, and Martin Boyle did his celebration? Because I hear from very many good sources that he left 15 minutes into the game.
Well, yeah, I was going to say obviously he would have seen Dane Scarlett's, but he didn't because rumour is that he left pretty much as soon as the game started. So, yeah, I think it was really, really nice.
Just like all Rangers fans
to pay tribute to James Tavernier in that way. Yeah.
It's a really
nice. Martin Boyle's got a habit of paying tribute to other players in his celebrations this season, but thank God this one actually worked in our favour and ended up not going on to get beat.
Aye.
By the way, what a well taken goal as well,
man.
And the cross in from Abita.
Yeah, well, I'll talk about the goal. Did you know though that marks 5 games, consecutive games? No, that can't be right. Or maybe it's 5 consecutive games where we've scored against Rangers. Martin Boyle has scored in those games. It was something mental. Like I seen a stat. It was like Martin Boyle, like in the last 5 games that Hibs have scored against Rangers, he's also scored. He's been the one to score, which I think is an incredible stat. And like we'll talk about Boyle as well because obviously he's moving on at the end of the season, but. Yeah, Jordan Abita, it's a sensational cross, and obviously Gogsy. A lot of people talk about Nicky Cadden and how good he is at getting the ball into the box and into these dangerous areas. But for you, for probably as little or as much as you've watched Hibs in the last couple of years, I think Abita is just as good, possibly even better than Nicky Cadden at those deliveries, and Boyle finishes it with aplomb.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I've watched Hibs, it's been one or the other playing left back. So I think both of them have got a good delivery. Like the 1-1 draw at Easter Road, Beta got the assist for the Kieran Bowie goal.
I can't even remember that game, to be honest. That's how long this season's felt.
It's been the longest season ever.
But it's been so entertaining. And obviously, we'll touch on it like about a final day showdown for first and for fourth. But Shaun, Rangers come back into it and are putting on the pressure as you would expect them to at home at Ibrox. But Big Raf keeps coming up with save after save after save. And I think him and Jamie McGrath, I think it's a flip of a coin between him for signing and McGrath for signing in the season, because he kept us almost single-handedly ahead and level in that game. And I don't think there's anything he can do about the Asgard free kick. But just talk to him about Raf Salinger and just how much you think we've made an upgrade in goal this season.
Certainly asking the right man. Do you know what? I can think of 4 or 5 games just off the top of my head where Salinger has like done match-winning saves.
Go on, then.
I'm pretty sure.
Go on, then.
Sure, he's been. Like, why are you ruining my rhythm here? Why
No,
are you being
go
like
on
that?
then. Tell us the games. Tell us the
You know
games.
what? I'm going to make sure. I'm going to make sure that
No,
Gogsy
tell
wins
us
the
them
quiz.
now because you said you could name them off the top of
You've
your head.
already,
Name them
you've
now.
already won the quiz. You've already won the quiz.
Name them now.
Well, you've got that one there. You've got that. You've got that other one back there. But nah, I think I was looking at Salinger's stats actually this morning, and I'm pretty sure, unless I read it wrong, he's got man of the match 4 times this season. So I mean, whether that shows you whether we're poor defensively or it just shows how good he's been, I think either way, there has been a lot of games where he's pulled off a lot of good saves, and he's, for me anyway, he's definitely an upgrade. I mean, I know Jordan Smith came in and done really well, but it just goes to show where David Gray's allegiances lie in regards to the goalkeeping spot, because Salinger's came in and he's gave a man of the match performance again. If I'm not saying if Jordan Smith was in goal, but if another goalkeeper was in goal, I don't think we come away for Ibrox with the 3 points, because I don't think many other goalkeepers makes the saves that Salinger did against Rangers.
He pulled off so many really good, like point blank saves as well. Obviously, you've watched Salinger a few times this season in Europe and in the league. I think you're also blessed with a really good goalkeeper in Callum Ward. I think it's been a real good season across the board for teams in the division for not really having clangers as goalies. I mean, you could probably put down the Dundee United one as a bit of a clanger. Kasper Schmeichel has made an arse yet a few times this season. But, on the whole, you look at Ward, Schwallow, Salinger, Sinisalo has been great since he's come in. I also think that Shamal George has done well at St Mirren as well, despite their position. I think that across the board, I just think that the defences and the goalkeepers are getting a lot better in general.
I had reserved judgment, but I don't even think I would have voted Callum Ward as goalkeeper of the season.
Who would you have had?
I had Shvolov in.
Of course you did.
No, I genuinely think Shvolov is a better goalkeeper, but Callum Ward has made a few errors this season that have cost us points. Like, I don't want to berate the guy, but for the amount of clean sheets that we've had, he's also had a few clangers. Like the one at Celtic Park sticks out for me. The game we lost 3-2 in the last minute. The goal to make it 2-2.
What, that one there?
Oh, mate.
I don't know if there was much he could have done about that. Obviously, we'll touch on that later.
No, we don't have to touch on it, but he has had.
Nygren hits it that well, and it's like it's a bit of a knuckleball, really.
No, it's not that one. It's but he passes it out to the Celtic player at Celtic Park.
Are you talking about the one at Celtic Park?
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about the 3-2 just there.
No, aye. But also the drop ball at Kelly at home to cost us 2 points as well. He's been very good this season, but there have been moments where we've all questioned him.
Has it been more of a case that the likes of Welsh, Gordon, McGinn at the back have been?
It's been our defence
not letting it get through to him.
It's been our defence that's kept us that many clean sheets. I don't think Callum Ward is as good a goalkeeper as his clean sheet suggests.
Well, you've heard it here first, folks. Gogsy hates Callum Ward.
I don't hate Callum Ward. It's just we've had better goalkeepers in the past that have kept less clean sheets because of our leaky defence.
Graham Smith being one of them.
Buzz. I actually served him at World of Football.
Graham Smith?
Yeah.
What did he order?
Well, he had a party at the bowling.
Well, fair enough. That's funny, Gogsy, because on that TikTok live we did the other day, you said you didn't want to dox yourself by revealing where you work, and then you've just done it there.
Mate, the cat's out of the bag now.
It's alright, nobody watches the Hibs Ramble. It's alright, nobody will find out.
It's an Edinburgh-based podcast anyway, so...
Yeah, exactly. People will come in and say hello to you. You're that cunt off the Hibs Ramble, eh? That's what they'll say.
That's what I get every time, mate. Every time.
Shaun, obviously, Asgard's free kick is an absolute screamer. It's postage stamp. I don't think any goalkeeper in the world is saving it. And at that point, obviously, as a Hibs fan, how many times have we said that you fear the worst? Here we go, Rangers are going to steamroll us now. But just kind of, it was the case in terms of domination and possession and them having a lot of the ball. But like we've just said, Salinger coming up with so many top saves. And then at the end, you got wee Felix doing a Miguel Chaiwa, his best Miguel Chaiwa impersonation, and coming into the box at that angle, firing it across. And whether Dane Scarlett touched it or not, it's a great moment for him. It's a great moment for Hibs. I think it probably is a bit of a release for Big Dane, and then obviously that wee corner at Ibrox goes absolutely mental because we've nicked a last minute winner at Ibrox. Talk me through your thoughts.
Well, the first thing I'll talk you through is my thoughts regarding Salinger's man of the match performances this season, because I can now think of 4.
Oh, here we go. That's not off the top of your head, though. That's not off the top of your head.
It's not, because I've had to think about it. But I'm pretty sure one of his man of the match performances was against Motherwell. There was one against Kilmarnock as well, where we won. The one that we won 3-0 at home. And then the St Mirren victory as well. I remember him being really good in that. I don't know if that was a man of the match performance. And then obviously the one against Rangers. So maybe not right off the top of my head, but it's a bit early in the morning for that. So now
I appreciate the hustle.
Thanks. But yeah, well, I hope Dane Scarlett got a touch and meant it, because it certainly looked like it.
Could you tell? I couldn't really tell if he got a touch or not, but I mean, I'd be
definitely. He definitely gets a touch on it. He doesn't look that arsed about scoring, to be fair, but
I thought that.
It's like a 90th minute winner away at Ibrox. I had no worries.
So try to be nonchalant, Michael Elise.
That's it. That worked out well for Elise in the Champions League, though, didn't it? So
he's angry. He's angry.
But Dane Scarlett obviously gets a touch onto it, which is really, really good for him. I know, obviously, he was going back to Tottenham anyway, but it certainly wasn't the first time that little corner at Ibrox were celebrating that night, not just because of something Hibs done, that's for sure. And hopefully they'll be celebrating come this weekend as well, in more ways than one. Really, really good for Paslak. I think I mentioned it last week that both Salinger and Paslak have had really good starts to their Hibs careers, but there will be certain parts of the Hibs fan base that just won't forgive them for what happened in the derby, especially if Hearts go on to do what they could potentially do this weekend. That is certainly one way to go about it. Performances like that from Paslak and Salinger will go a long way in making sure that they're fondly remembered for their time at Hibs, and it was a really, really good run from Paslak as well. And what I liked most about it is and I guess this will come with the experience that comes with him, rather than maybe something we probably wouldn't have got with Megwa. He continues to run with the ball and his head up, and he then he basically bides his time and waits for the pass to put it across goal before, obviously, like other players probably would just maybe smash it across goal and hope for the best, but he waits for that time. And then it's the same with Dane Scarlett as well. He times his run to make sure that he stays onside and is still able to get a touch on it. So it was really, really well done from both of them.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. I was very angry at the both of them in the derby, and I felt they both really massively let us down. Paslak probably more so than Salinger, but I mean, if they can redeem themselves and give performances like that, then they are going to go a long way to kind of winning over a lot more of the more stubborn Hibs support. And listen, it's just the way that it is. Like, people will get red cards, players will get sent off, players will make mistakes. It's about how you recover from that and how you then don't allow it to negatively impact your next few games. And I don't think either of them have. And it's a massive win, because we knew that we had to take at least something from Ibrox and hope that Motherwell didn't beat Celtic for us to have a chance at pipping them for fourth on the final day. Thankfully, that is what has transpired. We've managed to get a really, really, really good win, and I know that obviously Rangers aren't like, that's 4 defeats in a row, and they're
lying into everyone.
Yeah, essentially. I just think that it's still a really tough place to go, and I know that they had nothing to play for, and essentially the pressure's off them, but it's still Rangers.
Yeah,
it's still a Rangers team, and you've got to make sure.
I'm pretty sure we had to go there and win, because even if obviously Motherwell got beat, which they did, and we drew, I think that would have meant that there would have had to be something like a 4-goal swing or a 5-goal swing on the final day. So realistically, the only way
I think it would have been more than that. I think it would have needed to be like a 8-goal swing, because I think Motherwell were like 8 ahead of us.
No, an 8-goal swing would mean that they were 16 ahead of us. But they're only
right enough.
They're only 8 goals ahead.
I explained this to Mark the other day as well.
Are you that Rangers boy for that Rangers podcast? Have you seen that clip?
That's what Mark was saying in one of the group chats I'm in. He was like, "There's no fucking chance Celtic are going to go to and beat Hearts 6-0 at Parkhead." I went, "They're not going to need to." He went, "Fucking how no?" Like I went, "Well, every goal that they'll score will basically count as 2." And he went, "And they bother like it." And then I explained it. He was like, "Aye, right enough, aye." So he understands it now. But yeah, a massive win for Hibs. Hibs did their job, and that was all that we could affect was what Hibs did. Obviously, not too far away from that was the game that was at Fir Park that obviously me and Shaun both watched as well as yourself, Gogsy. We'll talk about the main incidents before we kind of move on to Saturday.
Playing on
Can't
Wednesday
wait.
until 10 o'clock at night. I had no idea.
Until you got the WhatsApp notification, Hibs win at Ibrox.
I was like, oh,
Yeah, so obviously Motherwell go one up early on. It's a shin roller from Elliot Watt. It's poor
They all
defence.
count the same though.
They all count the same, whether it's a screamer, whether it's a tap in or a shin roller or whatever. Motherwell go ahead, and obviously that's coupled with Hearts also going ahead at Tynecastle. So at that point, Heeds are in hands, Hearts are champions. It's the worst night of my whole life. I think maybe you scored a bit too early, Gogsy.
I know. I've been saying that all along.
Yeah, I think it is. It's a bit early. I think Motherwell were definitely on top up till the
We
goal.
were.
And probably until
definitely were.
Celtic scored as well. You were making it really, really difficult for Celtic, I thought.
As we have done all season, like all 4 games against Celtic this season, we've been on top, the better side.
Yeah,
over the
and
90.
I do feel that until Celtic scored, yous had them on toast really, and it was
The most
really
disappointing
easy for
thing
yous to contain them.
disappointing thing is that they didn't have to work for the equaliser. It just comes from Slattery's tackle, which is a great tackle.
It's a brilliant tackle.
It just falls for Maeda. You just know at that point it's not going to be your night.
I mean, it's a wonderful finish from Maeda, Shaun, given that he'd screwed one wide about 5 minutes before from the same area. It's a great goal, a really nice finish. The keeper should maybe do a little bit better for me.
It's right in off the post.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the angle though, Cogsy. Surely the keeper would be able to get to it. But
I think it's a brilliant
just
finish. I didn't think similar to like the Rangers free kick. Like I don't think a lot of keepers are getting to that based on the position of the goalkeeper anyway. I think it's a really, really good finish. And importantly for Celtic, they needed to get one early, or as early as possible. And there isn't much a better time to do it than just before half time, because obviously Motherwell would have been wanting to go in at half time still with that lead, with their tails up, but then obviously Maeda's managed to get that goal. We'll probably talk about the potential penalty that they didn't get or should have got, depending on your viewpoint.
I'm literally going to touch on that right now, Shaun. Mystic Shaun.
Aye, so on that, for me,
I don't think it's a penalty.
I would say if I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible, which unfortunately at this time of the season I'm certainly not neutral for certain reasons, I'm screaming for that. And if they were wearing a Hibs shirt, if Maeda in some other alternate universe was wearing a Hibs shirt, I'd be screaming for it as well. But at the same time, I would be raging if it's given against. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those. But you see similar challenges like that go on in the middle of the park where someone climbs higher than the other player, and the other player backs in, and then it's a foul in the other direction. So I can kind of understand why it's not been given, but due to the circumstances and the situation that was going on Wednesday night, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was definitely screaming for it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a penalty. I thought, if anything, and I know that Maeda isn't like turning around and looking to back into the goalkeeper. I know that he's waiting for the ball to drop out the air, and he's backing up to try and control it. But for me, it's not a penalty. I don't think it's... I'm not too sure if it's a foul either way. And I'd also think that if Nygren doesn't hit the bar and it goes into the goal, I don't think the goal's given, to be honest. I think it's... I think, if anything, right decision come to foul on a goalie.
I think... How many times have you seen situations like that and the goalkeeper's just allowed to do it anyway? Like, the goalkeeper is the most protected person on the pitch.
They're both going for the ball though, Gogsy. It's not like the goalie is trying to wipe out Dyson from scoring.
Aye.
This is it for me. I think the right decision has been come to. I don't think it's a penalty. I think John Beaton made a good decision in real time.
It's a first.
He's made a good decision in real time.
Makes a great decision with the assistance of VAR later on as well, Gogsy, doesn't he?
No,
He absolutely does.
I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for that
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Because at half-time it goes in 1-1, and you're probably thinking all the momentum is with Celtic. They've scored really close to half-time, come out, start the second half, fairly dominant in terms of ball possession and chances, and then Nygren absolutely rips one into Callum Ward's goal hole, and it's looking all bright and breezy for the green and white contingent of Scottish football.
But that comes 4 minutes after Slattery, in my opinion, should have had a penalty himself.
No. We'll talk about that as well. It's not in my notes. That's never a penalty, by the way. It's never a penalty.
No, it is.
It's not, because I'll tell you why. Because you agreed with me the other night on TikTok Live about the Kizadidis one, and it's exactly the same.
No, it's not. Because there's contact on this.
There's not!
Yeah.
He slips!
He's literally through with a free shot, and
Jordan, he slips.
the right foot of Callum McGregor has brought him down.
Don't talk about Callum like that. He slips. He slips, and he's going down before the contact happens. And
he may be going down, but the definitive contact of Callum McGregor's right foot has essentially brought him down.
I'm not just saying
that's
this
a
because
penalty.
I wanted Celtic to win. Honestly, I'm not just saying this because I didn't want. I wanted Celtic
green and
to win.
white tinted specs for 2 ways.
I didn't think it was a penalty. He slipped. I didn't think it was a penalty at the time when I first seen it.
No,
and I think that's like
penalty,
when your initial reaction goes, "That's not a penalty."
No,
what did you think?
No, for me.
I'm not going to lie. I had to just rewatch the incident because Gogsy seems adamant that it was a penalty.
I am adamant.
The incident that I remember was certainly not a penalty, and the incident that I just watched certainly wasn't a penalty. But for me, I don't think there's any contact whatsoever. I think his boot just gives way, and I think he slips. I thought that at the time, and I still think that now.
He's caught by his trailing leg.
Like, if you look at the... Liam's going to be annoyed. I'm not trying to make it about Arsenal, right? But away at Atletico Madrid, Eze doesn't get a penalty for something that is more of a connection.
Well, I've not seen that incident.
Than that one. Like, the boy clips Eze's foot and he then goes down. Now, whether there is contact between Slattery and Cal McGregor or not, there's even more contact and he goes down and a penalty is not given.
This is my thought, right?
By that rule, and that the Motherwell one also isn't a penalty, even if there is the slightest of contact, which, by the way, I don't think there is.
This is my thought, and I think it's exactly the same as Kizadidis' one in the Hearts Motherwell game. Right?
That's not a penalty either, though.
That's not a penalty either.
No.
Maswanise comes across, right? Plants his foot in front of Kizadidis' foot. Kizadidis is going down already, and then there's a bit of contact, shin to shin. Kizadidis goes down. It's not a penalty.
There's not enough.
Exactly the same as the Slattery one, Gogsy.
There's not enough angles on that. There's not enough angles on the Kizadidis one for conclusive evidence that it's a penalty.
No, it's not a penalty.
They're not.
It's not. And I said it at the time. I went. It's not a penalty, and you can tell. And you agreed with me the other night. Maswanise plants his foot, and Kizadidis' foot comes up after. And now, if Maswanise's foot was on top of Kizadidis' foot, fucking hell, this is like a tongue twister. But I refuse to call him Kizzy because that's disgusting. Kizadidis' foot wouldn't be able to come up as smoothly as it does. It comes up as if he's running unobstructed. And if Maswanise's foot was on top of it, he wouldn't be able to do that. And he would go down and his trailing leg would stay where it was. And that is a penalty. But he's lifted his leg up, and then there's been like a little tap, shin to shin, and he chucks himself to the floor. It's not a penalty. Slattery one's not a penalty either.
No, just that. It's a delayed reaction from Kizadidis as well.
Aye.
When he's in the air. He's a diving bastard.
I think
he's a cheating cunt.
What goes against him is that after the contact, he then lifts his foot, as Liam's already said, but then he then takes a touch and kind of half lifts his foot above the ball. So the referee's argument could be that he could have still had enough time to bring his foot back down and control the ball, and I think that's worked against him, the fact that the ball has actually came directly to him.
It's
But
almost as bad as Micah Richards' swan dive, and
That's
then
bad.
he rolls himself out of the box.
That's
It's
bad.
very
That oversells it.
Slattery and from Kizaridis. It's very, very Martin Boyle.
It's good that
Very
you.
Martin Boyle.
It's good that you mention a pundit that's on the rest of football, because the other one has an absolutely awful take on the other penalty that happened in that game.
Mate, I'm no bit right. So we'll obviously get to that. Celtic score again. Negrin rips it, edge of the box. Fantastic finish. He's hit the ball really, really well. After that, Gogsy, it was all Motherwell. It was all Motherwell.
Yeah.
Chance after chance after chance. Hit the bar. Sinisalo pulling off some really good saves. And then eventually, a Stramash in the box. My favourite football saying, a Stramash or pinball in the box. Ball ends up at fucking Liam Gordon's feet. What the fuck is he doing up there? And he manages to pop it into the back of the net. And at that point, you're probably delighted. Me and Shaun are fucking gutted, knowing that this Celtic team that we've watched tonight, and our whole 85 minutes up to that point of being Celtic supporters, we know that Celtic team's not going to score 3 or 4 goals against Hearts come the Saturday, because I think at that time Hearts hadn't scored their third yet. I think it would still need to be 3 goals.
Hearts scored their third.
Hearts scored their third. It needs to be 4, and you're thinking it's Hearts' name on the trophy. Really, it was a really good performance from Motherwell, capped off with 2 good goals. I mean, we can call Wards one a shin roller all you want. A really well worked goal in the first half, and the persistence from the Motherwell front line to keep going. And on another night, honestly, I think it could have been 3 or 4-1 or 3 or 4-0 to Motherwell, because I think that yous were that good.
Right, let's get to it. Come on.
Let's get to the penalty, and I've got it here. Let's have a wee look at it. Right. Where's my mouse?
Just go and swap that Motherwell top for something else just now, just so I know you're not being too biased at the decision.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I've got a jumper.
Are we ready to watch this? He's actually going. He's actually going as well.
I'm only kidding.
Well, our audio-only listeners, Gogsy is actually removing his Motherwell top right now. Is he going to put a Celtic one on? Is he going to put a Hibs one on? What is he going to put on? Oh!
I'm taking it straight back off when he gets to the quiz, by the way.
Right, okay. I've got the incident here. I've got a couple of angles. Now, we can play this video as much as we want. I'll talk through it first, and I'll talk through what I see, and then I'll come to each of you, and you can talk me through what you see. Because I think what me and Shaun see is going to be completely different to what you see, Gordon. So, let's have a look. Right. First off, my initial thought was, this is being looked at for an elbow in Trusty's face. That's what I thought initially, first off. Don't think he connects elbow to face, but you can see here, his hands on the ball, his hands on his balls.
Why is he touching his balls there? Is this your logic?
Look at the... See if he's not trying to elbow Trusty in the face.
He's not.
His arm doesn't get into that position, his hand doesn't come up here, and I don't know what he's doing, but mate, look at it, I'm not being funny. His hand's on his head and he headers through his hand.
Liam, can you do something for me?
I've got footballs outside. I can do it.
Could you stand up for me and try and jump?
Yep.
Go on then.
I know exactly where you're going with this, Gogsy, right?
See if he does a pencil jump, I'm going to rage.
So
Oh my days!
Sam Nicholson's arms will naturally be in that. Will naturally be up. They won't naturally be in that position.
They're not going to naturally be with his hand on his fucking head, Gordon.
No, the only reason that hand is up there is because Trustees also came to fight for the ball, which is fine. But that's action from both of them is a natural reaction.
Yeah,
that's
a footballing challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
If Nicholson doesn't handball it, right?
He doesn't handball
because Nicholson's cheated here. This is cheating.
Because he's he's a jambo, yeah. Because he's cheated.
Nicholson is cheated here, and handled the ball inside the box.
No, he's not.
So if he doesn't cheat, that ball goes over those players that are behind him and drops at a Celtic player in the 6-yard box and he scores. Is denying an obvious goal scoring opportunity.
Oh my
know
days,
what's also-
man.
No. See, for me, seriously, it is a penalty. You cannot get away with handling the ball inside the box.
He's a jambo bastard, therefore it's a penalty.
I get where
This is not a natural position for his hand to be.
Gogsy,
It's
I
not.
actually understand where you're coming from regarding that
Mhm.
argument. However, the fact that Trusty's shoulder forces Sam Nicholson's arm to be further up in the air, that's out with both of their controls, which then makes the hand above shoulder height in an unnatural position. And by the way, Liam, one of the pictures that you're putting in is actually an AI picture. That one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, if you look at the Celtic badge and the Celtic Foundation, it's actually an altered image. The rest
Yeah,
of them are,
so-
accurate.
Therefore, your argument's
So, it's
invalid.
a
Well,
natural.
you can tell in that camera angle that it hits
It's
his
a
hand.
natural jump in action for the two of them to jump up with their arms. That is obviously expected when you jump for the ball. It's unfortunate for Sam Nicholson that Trusty's shoulder forces the other arm up. However, it then takes the arm above the shoulder height and in an unnatural position, and therefore it then hits the hand at that point, making it a penalty.
Can I also add that with the position of his arm, how is he punching the ball 20?
No, because he's not punching it, is he? He's heading through his hand. That's why it's gone that way.
But if it hits his hand and the ball
I
drops,
can see now that it's like, I
doctor,
thought that was a real
It
picture.
hits
That's-
his wrist more than his.
if you're using AI to force your point, then that says more about you than,
I
than the actual
genuinely didn't
scenario.
realise that one was in there. But
Do
can
your
see-
research,
you can
Liam.
see- You can see
Unprofessional.
from that video it hits his hand.
I actually
No.
think, just to save us going round in circles, right? I actually think that if this match is earlier on in the season, or if this happens in the first half, I actually think there's less of an outcry after the game's finished. I think it's
Probably.
more to do with the with the circumstances around the game.
Can
the
I
fact
just
that
add here,
it
though?
happened 5 seconds before the game was due to finish, so it was still within the time limit. I think it's everything around it which has caused the outcry that it has. Whereas if it happens earlier in the season or even earlier in the game, and then other things can be done to have a direct impact on the outcome of the game, I don't think the outcry is as big.
Can I just add, if we are re-refereeing games by still images, why isn't Liam Scales sent off in the first half for an elbow in Callum Slattery?
I don't think
The
that
referee
happened.
didn't look at a still image, though. The referee didn't look at a still image. He looked
No,
at
and I don't.
But
I think
it's still images that are bandied about online.
Aye, but that's
I don't think they're
after
told
the
to
game's
look
done,
at the
and
still
that-
images, though. I think they are
that's
told to
after
look
the
at
game's
it.
done and it's not getting re-refereed. The referees looked at the video evidence, and the reason why he's been called over is it's not because it's a clear and obvious error, it's because he's missed the incident. A referee can get called over to VAR if a serious key incident is missed, which in this instance is a penalty. So it's not the whole
I think it is a
clear and
penalty.
obvious error.
I think we'll have.
taken all the it's the most stonewall penalty I've ever seen. I think taking all that out of it, right? If that was a Hibs player, if it was Hibs versus Celtic and Sam Nicholson was a Hibs player and that's happened and we got away with it, you'd be going, we've managed to get away with one there. I think that's what we would think. And I know that it's not the most stonewall penalty you've ever seen.
I think that
But it's a penalty.
I think the
It is a
audio will
penalty.
come out. I think the audio will come out, and the
It'll need to
conversation.
because
No,
this
it will.
month has been that Johnson tackle at Parkhead, the Kizaridis one at Fir Park, then the Longello one at Fir Park, then this one here. And
What I'm saying though is I think the audio will come out, and the way that the conversation will have been is that John Beaton won't have seen the incident. VAR have had a look at it, and they've suggested an on-field review because they think he's missed the incident completely. They're advising him what they think they've seen. He then goes over, has a look. Doesn't need to have a look long because it is the only one angle, and like as Gogsy already said, you can't re-referee with still images. He'll then have a look at it, and because it's up here and that's the only angle that we have, then that's what he's going to go with. and he's going to be like, right, well, I've missed that completely, and that'll be what it's
Do
given.
you think though?
The argument then needs to be that we need more camera angles.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've said
That's the issue.
How many times have we said that, Sean? You know what I mean? Like every week, essentially, when there's
I
a
mean-
VAR decision, right or wrong. But I do think, right. So let me play devil's advocate here. If
thought Goldie
VAR
was
have
gonna do
called
that.
John Beaton over to the monitor, right, and said, "Listen, I think you've missed this," is that a clear and obvious error?
It's not.
That's not what he gets called over
I
for.
don't
Liam.
think that is a clear.
That's not what he gets called over for. Referees can also get called over to VAR if they've missed a potential serious incident. So that was then classed as a serious incident is like a straight red card or a penalty. So the whole
But
calling them over for a clear and obvious error
doesn't matter there.
it does matter, but that's not the only reason they can get called over. A referee can get called over if they've completely missed an incident. So VAR have then saw this incident. They've mentioned to John Beaton, or have you seen this incident, or this has happened, did you see it? He's obviously going to say no. So because he's then missed it, he's not made a decision based on seeing the incident. If he'd seen the incident and then waved play on, I actually don't think a penalty gets given. I don't think he gets an on-field review.
Right.
It's because he's not
I get
seen
where
the
you're coming from
incident whatsoever. A referee can still get called over. If a referee misses an incident completely and VAR have a look at it, they can then have a conversation and say, by the way, did you see that? If John Beaton goes, yeah, I did, nothing wrong with it, they go, sound, play on. But then if he's not seen it, their then recommendation is if it's a serious incident, i.e. a straight red card or a penalty, he's then advised to go and have a look at it, which is what he does. He then has the review and then comes on and makes a decision. So he could have had a look at that on the screen and then came on the pitch and said, no penalty, play on. But then he's obviously had a look at it for the first time with potentially no interference from VAR other than them telling them that he needs to have a look at it. And then he's came to his decision for there.
Tell you
Right,
what.
so let's go black and white then, Sean. Is it a penalty or is it not? Gogsy?
No. Never.
Well, that's 2 against 1. So I mean, you're last.
Can I just add though?
Yeah, of course.
They're not going to release that before Saturday. The
No. It'll be at the end of the month.
It'll be because we're at the end of the season now. They will release it next Friday. So there's still people talking about Scottish football.
Do you think that they're going to want that to be the conversation though? Because I was listening to like Talk Sport.
That will only be the conversation.
All over the world. This incident has been all over the world, and it's been split 50-50 between who thinks it's a penalty and who doesn't think it's a penalty.
If Hearts don't win the league tomorrow, that's all that's going to be talked about. No one's going to be talking about Celtic winning the league because everyone's just going to shrug their shoulders about that.
And this is a frustrating thing because, like we were talking about off air,
yeah,
Celtic. Like my other point here. How many times have Hearts benefited from VAR this season?
A lot.
Let's think about the one
the penalty against us
with Lawrence Shankland. Handballs it in the middle of the park. They go on and score. The Motherwell one at Tynecastle where Cabore's got his fucking face on the floor next to the ball, gets a tap on the head, penalty. The St Mirren one away at Love Street where St Mirren scored
Love Street, that's taking us back.
And it's cut out. You know what I mean? Like, that's 3 that I've named off the top of my head that Hearts have had in their benefit. And I'm sure Celtic have had a lot in their benefit as well.
Probably name 4 or 5 from the last 2 weeks since Martin O'Neill's behind the doors meeting with Willie Collum.
I think that every side has benefited and lost out to calls from VAR this season. That's a fact. And that's what's going to happen with VAR, right? And these usually even themselves out across the course of a season.
Yeah, Celtic get a penalty in the first half and Celtic get a penalty in the second half, yeah?
Well, because this one has come so late and it's such a controversial point, so late in the season that it could... Well, it's clearly helped Celtic because Celtic now only need to win.
Only ever
they
helps
don't need
Celtic.
to win by 3 or 4 goals at Parkhead. I don't know. I think these things even themselves out. What I do think is a bit ridiculous is people like Ali McCoist, Chris Boyd, John Robertson, Paul Hartley was doing it as well, coming out and going, it's corruption, da, 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 saying, IFAB are going, this is like, come on, it's not that deep.
Chris Boyd
it's the right call
from 10, 11 days ago where he's saying trust the technology, trust the process, trust the referees. 10 days later, he's absolutely fizzing. So.
Exactly.
I'm not saying you can, but I'm saying he said that literally 10 days ago. And then
Chris Boyd is not the voice. If you're listening,
he's not the voice of reason.
if you're listening to Chris Boyd and he's your moral compass, then you are going down a slippery slope. You know what I mean? Like, but even Jens Bertolascu comes out and says it. Derek McInnes comes out and says it's disgusting. It's not got anything to fucking do with him. After the Falkirk Hearts game, and I get that he was asked about it, but he could say, I think that's a disgrace from Derek McInnes to come out and say it's disgusting and talk about
Derek
decisions in another game.
Derek McInnes.
It doesn't say much. To me, it doesn't say much that Willie Collins come out and back John Beaton. It's not. You don't back down, you double down. He's damned if he does, he's damned if he doesn't.
Coming out and saying what he said, I completely understand. Even if he didn't feel that strongly against the decision, he's still going to come out and say it, because you could argue that could then work in Hearts' favour mentally. Like, they'll be he can then use that as a motivational edge going into the weekend's game. I mean, obviously everybody's going to be against them. They're going for a league title. Nobody wants them to win a league title. Everyone neutral, or maybe everyone out with Scottish football maybe does, but in regards to like direct opponents, of course they're going to be up against it. They're going to be up against it on Saturday. They'll have been up against it all season. So it's right for Derek McInnes to come out and say what he said. I would want, like, famously, Jack Ross would never come out and criticise decisions when he was a Hibs manager. When you want him to, you want your manager to go and put pressure on the officials or those higher above, because that could work in your favour going into the next fixture throughout the season. So I completely understand Derek McInnes doing that, because then that the whole siege mentality going into the weekend for them, that's what Hearts need. They need every single edge that they could get going into the last game of the season, which, to be fair, they should probably have the last game of the season at home, and they've probably been screwed over, and Celtic have been given the home game. So that's another one as well. So they're just going to use all these different factors to try and give them the edge that they need, and they're obviously they're going to need it.
I mean, it has set up for a fantastic final day showdown, and I mean, it has been brilliant for Scottish football. All eyes are on Scottish football at the moment. I just hope that Celtic don't fuck it up. Essentially, yeah, it has been good, because it's just had so much attention on Scottish football, and those people who are sitting up and paying attention will probably pay attention again next season and realise that our league is brilliant. Our league is full of top quality players all over the teams. Motherwell are not getting the credit they deserve, I don't think, because of how well Hearts have done and how poorly Celtic have done.
If we finish fifth,
always the fourth in conversation.
If we finish fifth, we don't deserve the credit.
No.
Well, I hope you do. I hope you do. But I do think that Jens has done an incredible job with a relatively shoestring budget, Gordon.
He's only spent £285,000 on the squad.
Who did you pay money for this season?
Manny Longello, Ibrahim Said. I think that might be it. I think so.
I mean, and Said's hasn't been great, really, but Longello's been fantastic for you.
Said's had his moments, but he's not a statistics player. He's one of these players that runs for 50 yards, then runs back 50 yards, and then beats 10 players and with like 3 or 4 skill moves. He's had his moments, but he can't shoot for shit. Like, when he gets to the box, his right leg turns to chocolate, and he just can't finish. But we love him. He's absolute chaos.
And he was very good for me in Football Manager one year. So, listen, I think that it has been, and it's been an amazing season. Whatever happens, it's been an amazing season.
It's not an amazing season. Whatever happens, Liam, it's not.
Listen, you know that
objectively,
you know that I didn't mean that, but I've got to kind of say it. It has been a very entertaining season, Shaun.
There's 2 outcomes that'll make it a very good season.
Hibs win and a Celtic win on Saturday.
That's one outcome, yeah. That's one outcome.
Or just the hantavirus takes over and the game's only played.
Maybe.
No, but then Hearts would win the league. No, we can't have that. No, hantavirus needs to stay at bay. Needs to stay an arm's length at the moment. But
I think what makes it really good from our perspective is that, I mean, there'll be Hibs fans out there that will have all eyes on Celtic Park, and I can completely understand that as well. But if we have a look at what it could mean for both of our clubs, and Gogsy, you'll correct me if I'm wrong here, but if Celtic do go on to win the Scottish Cup, if Celtic go on to win the Scottish Cup,
at least Motherwell will get Europe that way.
Well, whoever finishes 4th gets a Europa League second round qualification, according to Wikipedia anyway. And
No,
fifth place would get the conference.
No, that would have been last season. This season,
Is it just conference?
it's just conference for third and fourth if the Scottish Cup winner
and then
isn't Dunfermline.
So from my perspective, if we finish fourth or fifth, if Celtic, let's say Celtic do win the Scottish Cup, if we finish fourth or fifth, we're going to go in at the same round.
Yes,
I believe we're going in at the same round. So there will be Hibs fans out there that, as long as Celtic win the Scottish Cup, they won't really be too bothered about what happens at the weekend. From a financial perspective, I mentioned it the other week. The difference between fourth and fifth is only about 150, 200 grand. So from a Hibs perspective,
that's massive for teams like Motherwell, though.
It is.
Well, it is, as Gogsy just said, because that's how much.
It's an extra player.
Well, exactly. You say how much you spent, 280 grand, and if it's 100, 140, did you say there, Shaun? Aye. That's half of the
150 to 200 grand. So from a league perspective, it's obviously going to be much more beneficial for Motherwell than Hibs, and I'm not saying that from a snobbery perspective. It's
the truth.
The important thing for both our clubs come the weekend, ultimately, is we want to try and finish in that fourth place, and if we can't finish in the fourth place, obviously we don't want to be relying on Celtic winning the Scottish Cup, because
it's the worst Celtic team to rely on.
We were doing that last season, and it didn't work out well for us, did it?
The most important thing is we'll be going in at the same round if they do win the Scottish Cup. So it will work out beneficial for both sides if that does happen. But if it doesn't, we're going into the second round of the conference. We then need to win that, then go into the third, then the playoff. So it is a big, big ask. But from what you can see online from a Hibs perspective, players are fully focused on that, and they know how big that could be for the club. And let's be honest, the players will be getting a Brucey bonus as well for finishing fourth. That's just how it is. Same for the Motherwell players. So it will be really interesting. I know it's a winner takes all through in the East End of Glasgow, but pretty much a winner takes all scenario at Easter Road as well. If memory serves me correct, Motherwell have came to Easter Road when Hibs have been fighting for European football and stopped us doing it before, so they'll be hoping to do it again.
They absolutely will, and it's going to be a very, very good game, because it'd be completely different if Motherwell were hammer throwers and sat 10 men behind the ball every time Hibs had it. It's going to be a very good, a very expansive, and hopefully very entertaining game of football. And I think that whoever wins deserves to finish fourth. I think over the course of the season, I've asked you before, Shaun, so I'll ask Gogsy, but over the course of the season, I don't think Hibs have been great. We have put a couple of wins together, but we've never really then backed it up with anything else. Like every time we've got a decent win, we would usually lose or draw in the next game. Do you think, as a neutral, do you think it's a disaster for Hibs to have a season like this? After the season we had last year, or the form that we kind of had at the second half of last season, do you think it's a disaster if we finish fourth?
No, I think it's the best thing to have ever happened to you is if you finish fourth. The fact that we were so far ahead and we've gone 1 win in 9, and that's allowed you to claw it back. That's the disaster here. The fact that we've been even in the conversation for a title chase, which I never peddled, by the way. It's just the media peddling more lies.
You are the media.
No, I'm not. But the fact that we've allowed Hibs to claw it back, I'm not going to say for the fact that we've been shafted on a number of occasions this season in order to stop us and derail us in our run of form, because that's happened at least 5 or 6 times since the Slattery dive where he got suspended which he got suspended.
That was bad, by the way.
It was horrendous, but we didn't think of anything at the time. We thought it was funny. But then after that, like the butterfly effect that's incurred, the amount of decisions like Celtic should have had 2 red cards in the 3-1 defeat at Celtic Park a couple of months ago, the penalty which we've alluded to at Tynecastle, that's just 2 or 3 out of probably about 5 or 6 that I could mention that have gone against us in this 9-game run.
I'll not ask you to name them all off the top of your head like I did to Shaun, but
no, I'll just start greeting. It's an absolute crime that we've allowed Hibs to claw this back, and we've only got ourselves to blame.
I'll just ask you quickly before we move on to like a quick prediction, and then we'll move on to the quiz.
God.
Just to yourself, Gogsy, it's a brilliant squad that Jens has got.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure who's out of contract in the summer or anything
Not
like that.
many. Not many.
How confident are you that, one, the manager will stay, and two, you'll be able to keep the core quality group of the squad together and then be able to kind of mount a similar challenge next season?
I think that, well, there has been rumours that Jens has been linked with Toulouse in France.
I think everyone who is a Hibs fan wanted Jens to lose on Wednesday.
I was just lining myself up for that punchline, but
I nicked it for you. Get in there.
Well, so hopefully it's the only thing you nick this week. But yeah, like, I have full faith in the board that if Jens was to leave, I think we'd have a contingency plan lined up. So I don't think anything's going to change. We're not going to go back to your average Scottish manager playing hammer throwing tactics. I think those days are gone for us, which is great. But I think if Jens does stay, then the core of the squad stays. Because, well, I see this year as just a foundation year, because this is not just a one manager project. This is going to be ongoing, and hopefully it leads to us becoming a regular challenging team for the European spots.
Right, now that you've said that, Jens will leave in the summer. You'll appoint like Stephen Craigan or something, and you'll finish 11th.
Well, technically, I still wouldn't be wrong because Stephen Craigan's Northern Irish. So it's all objective because it all based on the condition that Jens stays. But if he doesn't, then I still have faith in the board because of our contacts now that we're going to hire someone with the same style of football and the same mentality, which I think is absolutely key.
It's a conversation me and you have had a lot, Gordon, about like teams, and without meaning to sound disrespectful in any way, shape or form, but teams with the budget of Motherwell, I think often find it difficult to keep a hold of their good players, because sometimes, well, not really so much Motherwell in recent years, like with Lennon Miller and stuff like that. Obviously, there was offers coming in left, right, and centre for him, and you were able to confidently knock them back without really needing to accept them. But I think historically, well, a really good core of the squad like you've got, Motherwell would probably find it difficult to say no to teams coming in for their players in the summer.
It depends if the price is right.
And that's the difference now, though. That's the difference. The price has to be right. It's not a case of teams can penny pinch, like Celtic and Rangers can penny pinch and pick up, your Scott McDonalds and like Kevin Thompson, Stephen Whittaker, Scott Brown, etc., etc. It's like, I do think that the price has to be right for all clubs, especially and like Hibs as well. But like, I think it's just it was historically a little bit more difficult for your St Mirrens, Kilmarnocks, Motherwells, the teams like that to.
But
to say
I
no.
do believe we have more sellable assets than Hibs do at this moment in time.
I agree.
I mean, you probably have more, but would you get more money? Probably not.
Yeah, I have 100% faith that we will.
Do you think you could get more money for yours? And I'm just like, I'm kind of spitballing here, but like Josh Mulligan, Owen Elding, to name two. Felix Paslak's been brilliant. Nicky Cadden would probably command a fee.
Paslak's a bit older. Nicky Cadden's a bit older. Owen Elding won't be sold because he's only just signed, so he's there for at least another year.
All right, so you're going on technicalities.
They're not technicalities. They are sellable values that other clubs will look at. Like Paslak's in the twilight of his years as well. Like
we paid a fee for him, though.
You paid a fee for him, but he won't be resellable, in my opinion. He's there to stay for at least 2 or 3 years, or until the end of his contract. Then he'll be picked up by a bigger club. It's just the way clubs operate at this level.
To be fair, Liam, I agree with Gogs. If you have a look at the Motherwell squad and if you have a look at our squad, who we would be more likely to sell versus who they would be more likely to sell, they're going to generate more money and probably would sell more players because clubs will see Motherwell players as more achievable, and as in they'll be able to get them more than you would like a Josh Mulligan, for example. And clubs will be looking at Motherwell players and thinking, right, well, we can offer them this project or this stepping stone, and they've used that. Whereas other players might look at Hibs and think, right, well, I don't need to make that move yet. because another move might come along. Whereas, with no disrespect to Motherwell, because of the season that they've had, because of the manager they've got, they might need to take that jump. The players, I mean, might want to and might need to take that jump now, because another one might not come around, because that Motherwell side, and I think they've all performed strong next season, might not perform strong next season, and then therefore those sellable assets are therefore not as sellable. So, yeah. No,
Right, here we go, Gogs. You take it or leave it. We'll give you 400 grand. You give us,
No.
and that's when you say unjust.
Not even another zero would make me even think about that.
Right, very, very quickly, before we move on to the quiz, Shaun, predictions for Saturday, both games.
I think both games will end in a draw. I think it'll be 2-2 between Hibs, and I think it'll be 1-1 with Celtic.
So Hearts win the league.
I think the game will end up in a draw.
Gogsy.
And that's before the 3 penalties Celtic are given. Just so that they can authorise the fact that Celtic would have needed 3 or 4 goals. That Celtic will end up winning 5-1 Saturday.
I obviously hope I'm wrong in regards to both of those results. I think Celtic will take an early lead, and then I think Hearts will will nick a goal somehow, and then they'll just see it out, and I think it'll be pressure after pressure after pressure. I just don't think Celtic will be able to break them down unless they get a 99th minute winner when there's only 3 minutes added on or something like that. As for our game, I think it'll probably go. It'll be a bit of a basketball match in the second half.
Yeah,
I think either side will be 1-0 up at half time, and then I just think it'll be back and forth in the second half. Back and forth.
It'll be terrible for the nerves.
I think it'll be more dictated by us, because realistically we need to be the team to chase it. And at times, like when we've faced Motherwell, they have been really good at counteracting our press and our attacking threat. So I think that's what will kind of turn it into a basketball match towards the last maybe 15-20 minutes.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
Same.
Gordon?
I'm going to call it a draw as well. I think it's going to be 3 each. I think it's
Hibs and Motherwell.
Hibs and Motherwell 3 each. I think there's going to be a lot of goals. So cue the 1-0 Hibs. But no, it's genuinely good. As Shaun said, I think it's just going to be end to end. It's going to be a great advert for Scottish football.
What about Parkhead?
I don't really care, but I think Celtic will win 3 or 4-1. I think everything's going to go against Hearts, because I don't think the league can allow for a team outside Celtic or Rangers to be our flagship team in the Champions League. I think that's what they're thinking of. I don't
They'll
think
not make it to the Champions League. They'll get knocked out of the qualification.
No, well, aye. Which is what my point stands. Like, I think because even Celtic aren't good enough for the Champions League anymore.
Do you think that can't be a conversation that's been had?
I don't think it's a conversation. I think it's a well thought process. I genuinely don't think that the SFA or whoever runs the league have full trust that Hearts can go and make it to the Champions League. Like, Celtic are obviously the premier club in our league, and they will believe that Celtic have what it takes, should they spend money, to go and qualify for the Champions League, because Scotland can't afford to not have a team in the Champions League, and the only team with that platform is Celtic.
I'm not saying they would spend it wisely, but Hearts would get something around 20 million.
Yeah.
So they would still need to spend that wisely, but I can completely understand where Gogsy's coming from. My concern as a Hibs supporter is, if they are to go on and do the unthinkable, and Jamestown Analytics spend wisely, or the board on the other side, Edinburgh, do spend wisely, and they've got circa 20 million sitting in the bank,
How much is the gap? How big is the gap going to get?
We as a
I don't think there will be such a gap, because obviously what happens on the pitch, there's still 11 players against 11 players. It's more the fact that football is cyclical. Like, Hearts will have a bad time again. It will come round, because Hearts have been a yo-yo club in the last 20 years.
Have a bad time on Saturday anyway.
It's just the way it acts. Like, I mean, recently there's not been 2 Edinburgh clubs actually performing at the same level. When Hearts have been good, Hibs have been bad. When Hibs have been good, Hearts have been bad. It's just the way of the cycle of football.
I do think that Shaun is onto a winner, though, because if you look at, and we're kind of getting a wee bit off track, and I'll give my predictions in a second, Shaun, then we can go to the quiz. But I do think that when you look at the recruitment that Hearts have done this year, and I've said it before, I think there's only maybe been a couple of players that they've brought in that I think probably haven't been up to the kind of standard that the other players have been. You know, you look at your Casaridis, your Braga, the goalie's been really good, the fullbacks have been really good, and stuff like that. And I think it's really only been Kabore maybe that's not been as good.
I actually completely disagree. I think the majority of the signings that they've made have actually been really poor from a Jamestown perspective. I think
No, but if you give that Jamestown then the steroid
No, of course,
injection that it wants, then
but
where does it go?
no, of course, and if you just need to look at the other models that they've got, but I think Claudio Braga winning Player of the Year is absolutely ridiculous because I think he's been pish poor for 6 months.
But he's still second top scorer in the league.
I know, but a lot of that come from what he done in the first half. I think the second half of the season, I think he's been very, very bang average, and I think either of the Motherwell players deserved it more than.
I would have said Just deserved it more
Braga.
than
Just is more of a claim because Maswinizi, similar to Braga, as you're pointing
he's
out,
fallen right off.
He's fallen right off since he's not scored in 6 weeks, and he's had opportunities to score.
Hat-trick on Saturday.
Well, that's why I'm talking bad against him now. Hopefully, it's the reverse psychology. Genuinely, I think he's got a move lined up, and he's trying not to get injured for that because obviously he'll have to pass medical.
I think what Hearts have done well this year is the players that they have recruited that know the league and that are British-based players are the ones that I think have been the better success. I think if you look at Karazidis, for example, he started off really, really well. And everyone in the league was really, really good, but he's fell off a cliff, and a lot of Hearts fans don't even rate him anymore. And a lot of Hearts fans that I've spoke to are also being frustrated at times with the likes of Braga. The fact that Devlin's not been pulling it his weight since he's came back from injury. There's rumours about him potentially going to Rangers as well. If you look at the record signing,
is he out of contract in the summer? Cammy Devlin?
Yeah. There's if you look at the record signing, they spent 1.9 million. Boys barely kicked the ball due to injury, and when he has played, he's been poor. Kabore at times has been all right, but for the majority of his spell at Hearts as well, hasn't been that great. I mentioned this last week or the week before, Liam. I think with Jamestown Analytics, there's going to be a high turnover of player at Hearts, regardless of their success or not. And I think that's just the nature of what it is you're bringing in nobodies, and similar to what Gogsy mentioned about sellable assets, you're selling them on as fast as you can. Like, fair play to Braga. He's won Player of the Year and he's second top goal scorer. So on the face of it, stats wise, he's done fantastically well. But if you actually watch him week in, week out, or if you watch the majority of his games, he's not that great at all. So Hearts will probably look to cash in on somebody like him and Karazidis as well. And that's not to mention the other players. But then Hearts will be then looking to bring in other players. I don't think the likes of like Cammy Devlin is a Jamestown Analytic Hearts player. So they'll be happy to let him go to bring in a better quality player is what they're aiming for. They'll now have a model that they're looking for, and that's what they'll be going for. And it wouldn't surprise me.
A lot of it's going to have to come down to McInnes as well, though.
Aye, because
McInnes is going to have the. But you would say that Cammy Devlin is absolutely a Derek McInnes player.
He is, but then that comes down to the decision that Hearts need to make. Obviously, Cammy Devlin doesn't want to stay. He's not taking the contract that he's been offered, so he's moving on. But hypothetically, if they were offering him a contract, that would then be a decision that needs to come down between Jamestown, the big beak that's in charge, and Derek McInnes. Yeah.
Well, I'll give my prediction. I think Celtic will win at Parkhead, and I think it'll be a draw at Easter Road as well. And I think if anyone's going to nick it at Easter Road, it's probably going to be Motherwell.
They'll take anything.
I think we fared so well on Wednesday night because Rangers season was over the previous Sunday. So I think
Falkirk season wasn't over, and we performed really well away at Falkirk.
Yeah, but Falkirk aren't Motherwell.
But also,
Falkirk have beaten Motherwell twice this season.
But Falkirk beat us 3 times.
Playground rules, we'll finish 4-5. Hibs win, Celtic win, everyone's happy.
The only problem for me is the fact you have momentum now, whereas we've come off on the back of a very meh one each draw with Hearts, and then that sucker against Celtic. But that should motivate us. We are due a win.
Historically, teams that are struggling for form and struggling for points, just look out for when they're coming to Hibs at Easter Road.
And we say the same about Motherwell.
They go, nay bother, there's 3 points there. No, not a problem, Si.
Similar to what I said earlier, though, Gogsy, like the siege mentality that Derek McInnes will be doing at Hearts, yous will be looking to do something similar because of what has happened on Wednesday. Yous will be using that as a motivational factor.
Well, the thing is, the fact that we have Poundland VAR, that this does give us an opportunity to band together to actually change things. And I know that there was a vote a couple of years ago about how things are, and then I think 4 or 5 clubs voted against changing things. But I don't think anyone voted for VAR to be shite. I think people voted for things to actually be workable, and clearly, I mean, you've seen the Hearts penalty at Fir Park and then the Celtic penalty at Fir Park. Whatever side of the fence you stand on, the product isn't good enough, and I'm saying that as a Motherwell fan. Like,
it's what they've got. What they've got isn't good enough. The camera angles, the quality of the cameras. Because I'm looking here at the thumbnail of the video that I showed earlier of the and this is the actual VAR. This is what the referee was looking at, and it's so grainy.
There's not enough. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have 4 club cameras behind each goal every game, and the fact that they're not even hooked up. I mean, I think we only have like 6 cameras for the broadcast.
The technology is not good enough.
No,
and the people that are working it as well are not good enough. And I think until either one changes, we're not going to see anything different.
Correct.
Because you can keep going and keep saying, well, you know,
and then you can bring up another problem as well. It's just endless.
Absolutely. Right. Quiz time, Shaun.
My favourite part.
Here we go.
Right, I'm going to take off my jumper for this.
Yes, Shaun. Fucking hell, go again! No! Stop! Jesus Christ. There we go.
Production.
Shaun, talk us through the quiz this week.
So the quiz this week is a mixture of final day questions throughout history. Some involve Hibs, some involve Motherwell, some don't involve either. But it is purely final day SPL, SPFL.
Do we need a pen and paper?
You can use whatever you want. You can use a whiteboard, chalkboard, pen, paper, phone, as long as you're not using Google. That's fine by me.
That's right, Liam.
No, my phone is propped up for the notes, so I need to use a pen and paper. Right, okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Ready to go. So, back on 25th of May 2003, Scotland had its first quote-unquote helicopter Sunday. Celtic won away heavy at Kilmarnock, but there was an even bigger goal swing for Rangers to allow them to win the league. 2 points on offer. Who did Rangers play that day? And the second question for the second point is, who scored the definitive goal for Rangers that won them the league? Both.
What year was this?
Both answers are famous. 2003. So the 02-03 season was the first official quote-unquote helicopter Sunday in Scotland. Celtic won 4-0 away to Kilmarnock, but there was an even bigger goal swing at Ibrox. I would like to know who Rangers played and who scored the definitive goal that won them the league, which, for context, Rangers won the league by 1 goal, and it was this goal that won them the league.
Do you know it, Goxie?
I've got an inkling.
I have no idea. I'm going to.
This is like before I actually started taking an interest in football, so
I had no idea this happened.
I'm only going off stat books or
is,
clips on YouTube.
So it's very, it's maybe certainly for my generation, it's famous. Let me know when you're
okay. I've got an answer, but if it's right, then it would be a miracle.
So I need the team that they played and the person that scored the definitive goal that won them the league. It wasn't the goal that won the game; it was the goal that won them the league, because obviously it was such a high margin.
Do you want to go first, Liam?
I'll go first. I've got Dundee United. That is the team that they played, and Nacho Novo scored the goal. But I don't even think Nacho Novo was at Rangers at that point.
I think it was Dunfermline Athletic, and Mikel Arteta scored the penalty to make it. I think it was
6-1.
6-1.
6-1. Yeah.
There you go.
2 points for you. Yeah. So
I'll take that.
Going in.
No idea.
Going into the.
I didn't actually know that until I just thought of it for a sec.
A pretty good fucking guess, Gordon.
No, it was just because 2003, Kelly and Dunfermline were both in the top 6. You're just thinking who's got nothing to play for, or at that point. I think Dunfermline did play European football at that those 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah, so Celtic and Rangers ended the league, played the same, won the same, drew the same, and lost the same. So it went down to goal difference on the last day. And going into the game, Rangers needed to, well, because Celtic won 4-0, Rangers needed to win by 5 or more. And Rangers got a penalty in the 90th minute, and Mikel Arteta scored to win them the league and give them the
Wow.
definitive.
I bet that would have been scenes as well. Did he
Big
do a
Fish.
Tavernier celebration?
It's nah, he done the celebration.
Oh, the Ronaldinho one.
Kind of, to be fair. I played with him at PSG, didn't he? Right,
And
Gogsy,
Barcelona.
2-0 up. Nah, I wasn't at Barca the same time as Ronaldinho.
All right, sorry, Shaun.
Okay, question number 2. Another helicopter Sunday happened 2 years later. This time, 22nd of May 2005. Both of our teams were involved that day. Scott McDonald famously scored the goals for Motherwell as they
I
went
thought
on
that
to
was going to
beat
be the
Celtic.
question. Who scored the goal for Motherwell?
Scott McDonald famously scored the 2 goals for Motherwell as they beat Celtic 2-1, meaning a 1-0 win for Rangers over Hibs meant that Rangers were given the title and Hibs got Europe. But what I want to know is who scored for Rangers that day.
Oh,
I think I know, but I'm not 100% sure.
I've never even thought about the other game.
Oh no, it can't be him.
I've always ever known the Motherwell 2 Celtic one.
That's exactly why I asked the question, Gogsy, because everybody knows 2-1. Everyone knows Scott McDonald scored.
I know he scored against Hibs, but I don't know what year it was. At Easter Road as well.
I've got a guess.
Yeah, so 2-1.
I've got a guess, but I don't think it's right.
So Celtic were leading 1-0 until the 88th minute, which would have had them the title. Scott McDonald pops up 2 goals in 2 minutes. And then Rangers were already winning at this point. So all they needed was obviously a Scott McDonald masterclass, which brought the title to Easter Road, but not for Hibs. Who scored the goal for Rangers that day? Liam.
I've got Philip Sebo.
Gogsy.
Sasa Papac.
Way before Papac.
It is way before Papac. It is not Sebo. It is Nacho Novo.
Fucking I had that one.
I'll tell you a wee anecdote about that game though. See, my uncle was on the bench for that game because he was a team doctor at the time. Like they had like crates of like champagne outside the Celtic dressing room. Stephen Craigan goes up to it and said, "You won't be needing these anymore." The team got pissed off Celtic's champagne.
Okay, what's funny? That exact thing would have happened at Tynecastle on Wednesday night.
Aye, they had boards for like Scottish
had all the
Premiership champions and all that.
Can't say too much yet because he might still win on Saturday. But
They'll use the same ones.
Right, question number 3. Another famous final day showdown. Probably one of the most famous final day showdowns involving the 2 teams that are fighting for the title this year. Sir Albert Kidd Day, the 3rd of May 1986.
Did he get Hibs Player of the Year?
Every year. He's got Hibs Player of the Year every year. Sir Albert Kidd Day, 3rd of May 1986, famously ended Hearts' 31-game unbeaten run by scoring 2 goals to hand the Celtic hand Celtic the title that day. What I want to know is who did Celtic play that day, and a bonus point for the score. 40 on. It's been in the news. It's been in the news in recent weeks as well.
Do you know what, Gogsy?
Yeah.
Probably one of the most famous final day showdowns. Liam, hit me with the team and the score.
So it was St Mirren that they played, and I think they needed to win by 5 goals, and I think they won 7-0.
Gogsy, what have you got?
I thought it was 6-0 at St Mirren.
So you both got St Mirren correct, but they won 5-0. They were 4-0 up after about half an hour, and then they were 5-0 after
Was
half
it 5
an hour.
goals that they needed? Or?
They needed a 7-goal swing or something like that they needed.
That's
so
when I'm getting 7-0 for them.
But my dad had a bet on 4-0, 5-0 and 6-0, and he won a fair amount of money.
That's class.
Albert Kidd scoring his 2 goals in the 83rd and 89th minute, meaning that it handed Celtic the title, and the title went to Love Street.
I'm sure Jim Jeffries Was Jim Jeffries playing for Hearts that day, or was it Craig Levein playing for
Craig
Hearts
Levein.
that day?
Craig Levein.
Jim Jeffries played for Hearts in the 7-0 game at Tynecastle.
He did. Okay, question number 4. There's been a lot of talk this season about the league title winner winning the league with a low or one of the lowest amount of points in recent years. So what I want you guys to tell me is Celtic were the last side to win the league title with less than 80 points.
Mm-hmm.
What season was that?
Less than 80.
Less than 80. And I will give you a clue. It's been in the last 16 years.
How close was second, or does that give it away?
I'll give you both a clue. Gogsy should certainly know the season, and the team that finished second were 16 points behind them.
Right, so it'll be the season that Motherwell finished second then. Which I can't mind. Is that the same year that you got to both the cup finals? Right, good, because that was the year I was going to go for.
By the way, the top 6 that season is horrific.
Were Hamilton though in the top 6 as well?
Not that season. The top 6 that this season in question here is ridiculous. I do not know how Celtic lost 7 games that season.
Who was the top 6?
Well, I'll tell you once you tell me this year.
Right.
Liam, you're obviously going to go first because potentially Gogsy might actually be able to work it out or should know it.
I should know it.
I'm going to go.
Gogsy?
I think it was 2013-14.
2013, Celtic finished champions with 79 points. Motherwell were second, St Johnstone third, Inverness fourth, Ross County fifth, Dundee United sixth.
That is stinking.
That was the season in which we James McFadden scored a free kick against St Mirren last minute to draw 2 each to keep the title hopes alive with like 5 games to go.
That's mad.
And then
Where were we?
7th.
And where were Hearts?
Well, below us. I've only got a screenshot of the top 7.
we lay down to St Johnstone on the last day to allow
Might be
them
able to
to
find that,
overtake
actually.
Inverness for European football. Even though
Why would you do that?
Inverness were fantastic that season, but we beat them 3 out of 4 times. Like
Why would
4-1.
why would you do that?
Because it's funny. Like Inverness Inverness should have been in the European football, but they missed out on the last day.
You know what you could do? Lie down for Hibs, so Hibs get European
Fuck
football on
off.
Saturday.
No,
Hearts finished 10th.
Bastard, it's my
we
first
were
night.
so clear. We were obviously the second best team that season. Michael Higdon had a field year. That was, aside from this season, that was the best year being a Motherwell fan. The only crime is we didn't win a trophy with that Motherwell team, and then half the squad left for free to other clubs because of Leanne Dempster, who you'll remember fondly as well.
Fondly for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hearts finished 10th that season. Okay.
Fucking hell.
The 2007-2008 season was the last time Hibs played Motherwell on the last game of the season. So what we're having the last day of the season, where Motherwell, beat Hibs at Easter Road in the last game of the season.
I thought we played them at the Stevenson and Hanlon last game.
No, that was the second last
That
game.
was the second
All
last.
right. Apologies.
Right, let me restart that.
Yeah.
2007-2008 season was the last time Motherwell came to Easter Road on the last day of the season and won. They beat Hibs 2-0 to prevent Hibs from moving up to 4th to secure a European spot, which might happen this weekend, while Motherwell had already secured 3rd. 2 questions.
Really?
Question number 1. Which former Hibs player scored for Motherwell that day? And the second question is, who was the Hibs top goal scorer that season?
2007-2008. Which former Hibs player scored for Motherwell? Were they former at the time?
They are former as of recording.
Right.
Take that as you will.
I think I know who it is.
And then
And who was the
Hibs
top scorer
goal
for Hibs that season?
Yep.
Is this the last question, Sean?
Yeah.
So I need a Hail Mary here.
You're only sitting on 1 point, so you need to get both right, and you need Gogsy to get none right.
I need a 4-point swing. Right. Who was the top scorer for Hibs that season? Can you help me out, Shaun? 2007, 2008. That was the one that we had the dark green stripe along in the black away kit, right? With the silver numbers.
Let me confirm that with you in a second. Gogg's shaking his head, so clearly doesn't want me to respond.
So I think who played for us that season? Oh no, it's fine. 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 It's fine.
Is it fine?
It's fine.
You think? I can even tell you the goalkeeper for Motherwell that day.
What? You could or you can't.
I could, yeah.
For fuck's sake!
It was Gunnar Nielsen was in goals for Motherwell. He didn't play for us until that game.
I'm usually good at these quizzes, but Shaun has absolutely fucked me right up the arse here.
Okay, Liam, can you tell me which former Hibs player scored for Motherwell that day?
My guess is, because I can only really name about 4 players that have played for both Hibs and Motherwell. One of them's Paul McGinn. One of them is the wee midfielder that I loved that only played once for Hibs. And also Brian Kerr. That's the one. I loved him, man. Brian Kerr is my answer.
Gogsy?
Jamie Murphy.
Jamie Murphy.
Oh,
Jamie Murphy scored his first senior goal that day.
Love that.
Brian Kerr played for us that season. He scored against Hearts on opening day.
Right, try and redeem yourself, Liam. Who was the Hibs top goal scorer that season?
Stephen Fletcher.
Gogsy?
I was going to go for. I was torn between Marouane Zamama and Chris Killen, but probably neither.
Killen was away by then, I think.
Aye.
Well, it's Gogsy's best pal, Stephen Fletcher.
Fuck off.
The quizzes are always relatable, Gogsy. You should know that. You should know that.
I respect.
Yeah. So Liam has the last laugh,
Mate,
but Gogsy has the last laugh because he's won the quiz.
I'm gutted there that I put Brian Kerr. I shot my load far too early. Brian Kerr fucking played for us that year, man. Andy was shite for us.
Still got a derby named after him, though, doesn't he?
He does, aye. That was a great goal in the derby. And then his celebration was that.
Celebration, other way. That way. We've had this conversation already.
Have we?
Yeah. A few weeks
I
back.
thought it was
That was canon.
celebration. That was a great quiz.
You're
Shaun.
going to get that clipped, Liam.
Aye, by that guy on TikTok, man. I can't believe it, I'm famous. Well, let's wrap it up there, gents, shall we? Thank you so much. If you've got this far for listening.
Finally won a quiz!
No. Let's pretend that never happened. I'll just edit it out. No, thank you for listening. If you've got this far, it really means a lot to us. Thank you very much for Shaun and Gogsy for joining me this morning. It has been an absolute pleasure, as always. If you don't already, get us on social media. We are at The Hibs Ramble on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, etc., etc. If we are there, we are at The Hibs Ramble. Fling us a wee review or anything on Spotify or Apple. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, etc., etc. And we will probably, I think, Shaun, will have a wee review of the season and the Motherwell game next week, and then we'll probably have our awards show, and that's us, I think.
Probably just need an award show, to be fair, depending on how Saturday goes.
Well, and if Saturday doesn't go the way that we want it to go, this will be the last podcast of the season. But yeah, thanks again, troops. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it, and enjoy the game on Saturday, whoever you're supporting, unless you're supporting Hearts. Bye!
Let's get ready to rumble.